How technology affordability affects the rural areas. Have you ever taken a look at your surroundings or ever wondered, do students have enough resources to afford technology we sometimes take for granted? Or have you ever wondered, how did we end up like this, and how was schooling and education before our times? One of the major educational movements was around the 1800s, when the US was trying to create boarding schools, which were far away from people's homes. Some did not even know that school existed. These homes were basically to make the Indian culture change, and it was a very powerful tool that others followed their example. In education, many things have changed along the years, from poverty to the theories, methods, and technology used before. The pioneers, for example, of education, had different ideologies to what and how education functioned among learners. The technology from before was textbook, chalkboard, and other items that would facilitate the education process. Pioneers like Pestalozzi used this type of technology to teaching groups, which was in part used today, in the form of letting the learners use the material and learn from it by stimulating cognitive learning. Student development is affected by many ways. The American system believes that the children who are less privileged will somehow make it on their own. With the poor communities, including the Latinos, there are big challenges to overcome: family needs, living area needs, and development needs. These three are crucial for a child to be able to form a part of an educational system and be able to adapt socially. This would help bring an important change in the minority school life and eliminate the social adaptation gap that keeps on growing instead of making it stop. People may say, well, what is so wrong with education? Why aren't students focusing and making higher grades or going to prestigious universities? There are still many places in the United States and many areas where high speed internet is not available, which complicates things for students and for the people living in the rural areas. You will hear, see, and learn how poverty affects other regions of the world. Or in the US, have you ever heard how it is affecting in your state or region? According to USA Today, tests have been done to measure how poverty affects children. Compared to other countries, the US came out to have more poverty areas affecting students and education. Poverty is one of the major reasons that affect in what college or university the students will attend, or if they will attend at all. There's a possibility where you won't know this until someone brings it out into public view, such as they did when the poorest cities in the country were classified. The McAllen Edinburgh Mission area was determined to be the poorest places in the US. The education is not a problem. The poverty is what is obligating the students to take other paths other than school. There are many rural areas um, around Brownsville, Texas, and they're not that far away from the city, maybe around 10 to 12 miles. And I got to see firsthand because of a family member who works in the transportation system. He guided me through all the routes and inside the city and outside. These routes are a clear view of how poverty exists inside and outside the city, which is affecting our community not only right now, but it will affect in the future if this problem continues. This person gets to see the daily lives of these children in one-to-one communication, and it is amazing the many stories that they have to tell, having to do with their poverty and how they live and how they go to school and education, everything. Simply the many one of the most important things they talk about is that the library is about 10 to 12 miles away and that many of them don't have internet access or even a computer. We are in the 21st century, and if we create conscience in how this situation will affect the future leaders of the country, it is important to make a change now until and not until it is too late. Or what do you think? What will you do to change the situation about poverty and accessibility?